Jamar.
What's going on YouTube?
Washington.
This is Marty for here once again.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Jamarty 4 here once again. I know this is not our usual setting, but I have other people in the house, and I don't want y'all to hear all that background noise, but I'm still going to do the video regardless. So, we're going to talk about the latest episode of Love and Hip Hop. I believe this is episode 6, 7, one of them. It'll be in the description. But this was an interesting episode, but I know next week is where shit's gonna get real. We're gonna have a heart-to-heart next week, I can tell. But anyway, the episode starts off with Princess moving out. You know, the camera's getting all those slow motion angles of her putting her stuff in the boxes. She got the cute little dog and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, oh, okay. All right. I mean, like, it's like the more I watch this show, I'd be like, so y'all really want us to expect, like, this is supposed to be real reality? Like, you have a camera of the shot in the actual truck looking out at her face, and it's just like all these cameras. I'm like, this isn't real. This can't be real. And I know I keep saying that, but it's still just funny. It's just weird to me. But regardless, she's moving out. She got her own place that quick. I don't know if she just has like a bomb ass real estate agent, or is she staying with a friend? Because I doubt you can sign a lease that quickly and it just be open and available for you to move all your shit in just that quick. But you know, whatever. So we move to Hazel and T meet up. She said she done got her a new place in the hills. With what money? I'm waiting for the answer because she's talking about her career is on fire. I'm like, she's talking about she got bookings in Dubai? Bitch, please. Now, I don't hate Hazel. I swear I don't, but I need a receipt, bitch. That's what I need. Shut me up with a receipt. Then we can give props for props to do, because you and your music being on the commercial break between Love and Hip Hop within 15 seconds is not enough to be saying that your career is popping. I'm just saying. But she tells Tierra about the whole Jason Lee situation and the whole, you know, throwing the glass in the face. Now, I don't think at the time that I watched that was like alcohol. For some reason, I just thought it was like regular water or something that wouldn't, you know, burn. I'm like, how y'all... I mean, I know this shit is set up, so how y'all the producers gonna let somebody throw, like, alcohol, something that could potentially... I feel like that would blind you, bitch. You gonna let a nigga blind another bitch on the cast, like, for real? Like, there's not a contract, there's not some sort of agreement that can you know, secure my safety on this damn show. Like, I'm risk going blind in this motherfucker. So I didn't even think about the fact that could be actual alcohol. But since she said that shit was alcohol, oh no. Somebody gonna get fucked up on sight. You throw alcohol in my face, bitch. But then once she talks about, you know, the Jason Lee situation, she wants to tell her about, or Tierra wants to tell her about the situation that she had with Princess, her whole scheme. And it's just the more and more that I see and watch Tierra talk about this, it made her look stupid because we know what's really going on. And it's just like, you kind of are. I mean, I get it because she, you know, the way that they did her last year, it only makes sense for her to be, you know, kind of sidewide, and Princess should be kind of feel stupid for trusting her, you know, given the circumstances. But we'll talk more about that later on in the episode towards the end. So Nikki and Brandy are working out, and Nikki tells her about the whole Jason situation, and of course, you know, Brandy's all against it. I guess Nikki and her are friends, these random friendships that just pop up during the show. But she says she's gonna host some events. You know, they always have to host events just to have excuses for these people to get together for a taping. And of course, you know, Brandy's all about it, talking about, oh, that's disrespectful. You don't do that, which is true. They have every right to feel like that. But it's just like, I mean, I want to see some action happening. We get a little bit later, but it wasn't enough. But so they talk about it, say that they're going to host an event and they're going to bring him there to kind of discuss this. and hash things out. All right, we'll see how that goes. So Miles is on this music video for his West Coast single, and ooh, Miles, I love you, but maybe it's just not my type of music. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just not for me. Because, it was just, a bunch of guys in snapbacks with their drinks doing like this, looking back and doing like this. I'm like, all right, maybe I just can't identify with that type of music. But they do a little break or whatever, and he's trying to, then the sentimental ass music plays. Why? You know what? Ashley did this. Ashley and Miss Tink, who did reviews on this Love and Hip Hop, they talked about how they giving Miles all the R&B 1990s music video scenes with that. All that. All them scenes looking out into the window while the rain falls. So he walking over on the damn bridge trying to call Milan. And then they show Milan ignoring the phone call. He's on his own little photo shoot. Or whatever, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna call Amber because I can't get things right with Milan till I can make things right with Amber, so I'm gonna make this session with this counselor and we gonna get together and I'm gonna make this shit right. So I'm just like, oh, okay, all right, girl, good luck with that. So let's see, where are we? Amber and her sister talk about Miles. Now, mind you, Amber's sister look a whole lot better than Amber. She got all her teeth. She doesn't have the Adam's apple. She got a cute little lipstick on, eyeliner. She looks good. She looks good. I don't know if that's like her real sister or just her play sister, but either way it goes, she look better. But, she's trying to tell her, oh, I mean, I know you love him. I know you think you know his habits and all this other stuff, but make sure that you're not, being stupid, basically. And she's like, no, he's, made steps. We're going to go see a counselor. I feel like that's the first step, and we're moving forward. I'm just like, girl, little do you know, honey. Little the fuck do you know. But, and it didn't even get to it this episode. They kept on promoting it like we're going to see him actually say it this episode, but she's going to say it in the next one. I'm like, fucking Mona Scott, yeah. Wait, that is Mona, isn't it? Yeah. I thought I was about to get Mona and Shonda Rhimes mixed up. Sorry, there's too many shows. And while she was talking about it, there was a comment she made. She was like, what did she say? She's like, I'm his Barbie doll, and I turn him into my Ken doll. And I'm just like, oh, baby, little do you know. You ain't his Barbie doll. He played as a Barbie doll, and he didn't turn. You were his Ken doll, okay? But he found himself a real Ken doll, not a drag queen. So I was just like, oh, poor baby is just living in a fantasy world, and she just needs to be brought out, girl. But anyway, we move on to Willie and his manager. He's talking with the guy that dressed. I feel like I've seen him before. He said I think his name was like Scarface. That's the name of his or that's his industry name. But he looked very familiar. I don't know where. Wait a minute. Is that Tracy Braxton's husband? Somebody tell me if that's Tracy Braxton's husband, because I feel like is he the one that we seen on the Braxton Family Values that's married to Tracy Braxton? I feel like that's him. I don't know. Somebody let me know. Or they look a lot alike if they not. So he's talking to him, trying to say like, okay, well, we used to work together back in the day, so I want to know if he can bring me back to this label. And the guy's pretty much like, I mean, I would love to, but it's the same thing that happened with like Kalina and Miss Deb. Like, you need to be free from your previous contract before we can do anything, just legally, because if I try to do something with you and promote you and sell the product that they've invested in, I get sued. So it's like, well, I can't do nothing till you get out this contract, bitch. So moving forward, we get to this event that Nikki has, or this play event that she has. She getting all glammed up and beat down, and in comes Jason Lee and Kamaya. And she said, well, I wanted to bring Kamaya because basically I wanted backup. And I convinced her after the whole little Fizz situation, blah, 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 blah. So she's like, well, I'm here because I wanted to settle the situation that we had with Nikki, put it in the past, be grown women, that whole thing. So as soon as Jason Lee walks in, You know, Nikki's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, hey, hi. And I swear, Brandy is just staring daggers at her like, I know about you. I hadn't heard about you. I'm giving that whole thing. I'm just like, oh, bitch, girl, okay. And they go on, and she's already barking up off the gate. And speaking of barking, Judge Jason Lee was like, I'm trying to talk to you. I'm not trying to talk to your chihuahua here. And even though she got really offended, you know, of course, no woman wants to be called a dog. But the fact that she's so small, and the fact that she's so feisty, and the fact that she's so, she's strong, it fit. It fit. The description fit. I'm just saying, it's funny that he called it a chihuahua because that's exactly what I think most of us were thinking, but we just didn't actually find the mammal that we wanted to associate it with. But that shit works. Either way it goes, this shit works. So then she starts throwing drinks. She's like, "How the fuck do you like it?" I don't think that one was alcohol though. I think that was just water. But Kamaya's like, I wanted to have a conversation with you about our situation, but we can't even do it because they sitting up here fussing and fighting and shit like cats and dogs. And so it's just like, well, there goes that, and they running all out the door. He's talking about Jason Lee said something like, I don't have to face this now. I can tear you down on the internet. I'm like, really? You gonna throw a drink in a woman's face first, and then you gonna have a face-to-face conversation with yet another woman. Say, I'm not gonna fight you here, but I'm gonna tear you down on the internet. What kind of punk shit is that? I'm gonna tear you down on the internet. That's a threat. Nikki was like, bitch, well, let me give you something to talk about, bitch. Let me tell you what to put on your little cute little blog or whatever. I'm just like, Jason, you're like, well, I guess you're not the token gay on this show because we got Miles and Milan. And even though they're doing their whole stereotypical thing, it's still better and better representation of our community than yo ass. You sitting up here just being messy, trying to throw in drinks in bitches' faces and talking about you gonna tear people down on the blogs. Like, you an internet gangster, you got them Twitter fingers, girl. So they leave. And I'm like, all right. So Princess is in the pool with what you call it? Was it Nia, April, and that new bitch? What's her name? Shanda, the girl with the financial issues. So basically saying that she letting them know that she's moved out of Ray's house and the whole situation they done broke up, and she about to basically find Tiara and beat her ass. In so many words, that's just saying what her plan is. So next we get to Miles in this church. Okay, Mona. All right. So a random church, I guess y'all just booked this church and told Miles, hey, walk into this church, get your best Sunday suit on, get you a nice good haircut, and read this Bible verse, turn to this chapter, this book. I'm gonna need you to pray. I'm just like, is it so? I mean, are churches usually just open like that? Like, I'm pretty sure that you can't just walk in any church and just pray. Like, unless you own it, you have the keys to that bitch. I'm just like, okay, so the camera crew you just have to follow the camera crew into the church, just sit there, read a Bible verse. I'm like, it just looks so fake. and I know I feel like a broken record talking about that, but it's just, anywho, I'm gonna try not to bring that up again. I'm gonna try, unless it's just so bad that I just have to, like this. But Willie and his wife are talking about the whole situation, and she wants to be, led informed and whatnot. But he said what most of us said last week, or since she's been on screen, that I mean, it's nothing wrong with you going back to working, bitch, but you ain't finna be doing that line of work. You ain't finna be throwing that ass in a circle, on the pole upside down. That's just not cute. That's just not what's about to happen. But she was like, well, no, I can't get a real job because we need real money real fast. And I get it. I know I really understand what she's trying to do, but I just can't help but feel like there has to be another way. Like, y'all, there has to be another way. And so she's like, so I mean, she just wants to be informed. I guess she hasn't made a decision for sure she's gonna do it or not. But he's just like, bitch, just get a real job. That's all you need to do. Just get, just don't do that. You can help out if you want to help out, fine, but just don't do that. um. Okay. So this we get to the bulk of the episode, Princess and Tiara. All right. All right. So they meet up. They try to act all friendly, like, and then what's her name? Moniece is the one that really like sparked the fire. Cause she was like, "So I don't really understand this pairing, like between you two, like how y'all became friends." And then Tiara ran with it and was like, "Well, I wouldn't necessarily say friends." And Princess is like, "Well, so we're not friends?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, not really, but yeah, kind of, but not for real." And so she was like, have you been texting, have you been sending stuff back to Ray? And she was like, yep. And she sipped her little drink. I'm just like, okay. So she said that was fucked up, and everything just started escalating from there. She was like, bitch, you tried to get me from the jump. That's fucked up. When I was, I met you at April's pampering party. You was like, I was genuine. I was in a real hurt place, and she was like, I was in a genuine place too. I wasn't, just trying to kick somebody while they were down like y'all motherfuckers did me. And I was just like, well, okay, I can feel that. But then at the same time, I did feel like what she said was genuine. That was like a genuine moment. I guess just like woman to woman kind of. And I don't think she devised this evil plan until like after, where she was like, wait a minute. I ain't finna, help this bitch. I think she had that moment. That was a genuine moment during that. But then afterwards, she was like, wait, this bitch fucked me over last year. I'm gonna fuck with her now. So I don't think she went into that situation when she was crying and whatnot, talking about are you happy or whatnot. I don't think that's where the vindictiveness started, so to speak. But then Princess was like, bitch, let Ray claim you. Ray don't want you. All this, that, and the fourth. And I was just, and then, they just started fighting, decking. That was round one. She done called her ass fat. Now, I said it at the very beginning of the season. I was like, you know what, Tiara's fat now. We're just going to address the elephant in the room. She still looks good, but it's there. It's all there, and we can see it. Okay? But we're just going to acknowledge it and move on. So, they split or whatever. Then they come back. Then they start fussing and fighting again. And she was trying to say, I heard that you wanted me to move out. You was plotting against me. And I'm like, bitch, I never said that a day in my life. I'm like, who told you that? And I'm like, Ray said that. And Tiara said what I would have said, bitch. Ray J is a liar. Ray J is the one that's been cheating and, fucking around and lying. Like, you really gonna believe him now? Like, what the fuck? But then again, she doesn't really have much reason to believe you either, bitch. So, you know, you take anything anybody says to you with a grain of salt, Princess. But I was kind of with Tiara with that one. She was like, I mean, Ray J lies. Like, what do you expect? Like, what the fuck? And so Princess starts going off again, calling her a fucking hippo, talking about he don't want your fat, sloppy looking ass. I'm just like, oh Lord. And that's when Tiara spits on her. Spitting on someone is probably one of the most disrespectful things you could do to somebody face to face. That's one of the most disrespectful things you can do to somebody face to face. And I want to say, no, I can't even do it. Tiara, that was not called for, bitch. I tried to, think like, oh, well, they did her dirty last year. They said all this stuff, but you supposed, no. I would just rather you just pounded her into the pavement with your fist and spit on her. It's just a respect thing. I'm kind of caught in the middle with that. It's like, fuck, how you gonna spit on somebody? Like, I know that they fucked you up, but I mean, just pummel their ass into the pavement. Like, that would be more satisfying than spitting on them. But so Tiara, you lost some points for that one. She tried to explain it. I'm just like, nah. What Princess did, I guess, it wasn't enough. Not to spit, but beat her ass maybe, but not to spit. Because that's gross. That's bottling. No, that's gross. And then Moniece was up there throwing drinks. I don't know who she threw a drink at. I think she threw a drink at Shonda, the girl who's Shonda. I think that's what she threw a drink in. I'm just like, oh, okay, you want to get into the mix too, bitch? Okay. Where was all this drink thrown when your mama was cussing your man out? But all right. Next thing we get is Willie singing. I'm like, okay, Willie actually got a cute little voice, because I never really heard him. I didn't really much listen to Day 26, so I can't really recall what they look like. I think whenever I think of Day 26, I think of Boyz II Men. But so it was good just to hear him sing. Yes, it sounds good. I had no problem with what I heard. So, and he was hitting the high and falsetto notes. I'm like, okay, girl, I see you. And he talks with the record producer, and he's just like, what's up? I need money. Y'all don't give me no money. What's the deal? And the producer's like, we like the project, but we just need to, some time to set out a plan, this, that, and the fourth. He's like, look, ain't no time, bitch. I need this shit now. Like, I have other companies trying to, holler at me and trying to produce this now. Not waiting for no plan, now. So, I just need to know, can I get a release? And the guy's like, ooh, we're going to talk about that. I can't really guarantee you this, either way right now, but we're going to talk about that. And so he's like, in limbo. So he's like, well, shit, I may get a release. I may not get a release. If you're talking about they invested like $250,000 into this record deal or into this project, I'm like, I really want to know like how albums, like I know they record it, but when it comes to like people's albums getting shelved and people's albums getting put on ice and them just not promoting it, I'm like, I wonder what happens, how that process goes. But that's a whole other tangent. And the last scene is with Miles and this counselor, and so she's trying to say like, why do you want to do this? What is this pain that you're feeling? And he talks about, it's, hurting my best friend, and it's hard when we know we're hurting somebody that we love and that what, which is true, which is why a lot of times it's hard for people to come out, even though, on the opposite side, when families hear about their, other family member coming out to them and they're crying and they feel like, like, I couldn't have come to you, even though they've had like a loving relationship, it still feels like you're hurting that person because you don't know how they're going to take it. You feel like if you're the closeted person, you feel like everybody else is going to, be hurt by the situation, or they're going to disagree with what you're doing. And, even if you do have a good relationship, it's just how we view it. So that's what he said he was crying about. He was hurting somebody that he loved. And she's just like, I'm going to be here for you. I'm going to be here for you. And so Amber arrives, and that's where the episode ends. And so next week, Amber's out crying on the lawn and whatnot, falling out and being all dramatic, and I want to call my mom and stuff. And then we see the scene with her mom, and I guess that was Amber. I'm pretty sure that's who that was sitting on the corner. And she's like, are you trying to say basically fuck God and all that? I'm like, okay, bitch. Me and you gonna have a talk next week, bitch. Okay, because what you won't do is question my faith, my religion. Bitch. Not, see, that's gonna start a whole spark that we gonna wait for next week. We gonna wait for next week. I'm telling you. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this is so random being in my damn closet, but we gonna work it out whichever way that we can. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.
Like, share, subscribe.
Washington.